Dan Johnson says, "Hi, Lids. Very happy to see Andrew Schultz, has a new special coming out, and I'm interested to see that he's done so, having had to buy it back from a streaming platform, I assume is Netflix. He's now selling it via his website as he needs to recoup costs. And I find it interesting that he had to do so because they tried to cut some of his jokes. I think both of you would have done the same thing, and I'm interested to hear about your opinions on the whole lot. More than that, I would like to know how logistically you think it was able to happen. Surely he wouldn't have sold his special to Netflix if they had the right to cut it up. Also, I'm assuming Netflix have sold it back for more than they bought it for, which seems a bit shitty. I mean, you're getting annoyed about assumptions, but you're probably right. That's from Dan Johnson. Old school. One of the very first Jizzles who's been sending in good questions since January 2020. Dan J. So we talked about it a little bit off pod last week. Schultz has bought a special back. Do you know much about it?
I know he has sort of refused to name the streaming platform, which would suggest that there's a reason for that. So I don't know whether it is Netflix or someone else. It's very on brand for him, innit? And it's exactly what he'll do. He has built his entire career and his reputation, certainly in recent years, on I do what I want, I'm independent, I make these jokes. It is jokes. I make jokes about everyone at everyone's expense. Everyone, race, creed, religion, everyone in the crowd gets stuff leveled their way, and his crowds are the most eclectic group of people you'll ever see. And then a streaming platform has gone, right, not that one, that one, and that one, and that one needs to be changed, and let's just cut the bit of context out of that, because that... And he's gone, no, I've done this show for hundreds of thousands of people on tour, and had no problems. So it's going out...
Is this Infamous that's just been toured? Yeah.
It's going out exactly as I want it to go out. And they've gone, well, we won't put it out on the platform because we think it's going to get a lot of shit on Twitter and stuff. I think, look, I'm wildly speculating. I don't know whether that would be Netflix, because Netflix have quite staunchly stood by some of their bigger comics when they've...
Chappelle has really...
Chappelle, Jimmy Carr, Gervais...
Gone in the paint.
Like, regardless of what you think of what they said and the jokes they made, the specials are still up on Netflix, and they've done largely fuck all and gone, look, don't watch it. So I don't know.
They had staff walkouts
for Chappelle,
in California, didn't they?
So I think it's incredible. I think he'll God knows what it cost him to get it back from whoever it was. I know it was definitely more than $1 million that he's had to pay to get it back.
He said his life savings, didn't he?
Yeah. But he also said he spent his life savings making the studio the month before, his new upgraded studio.
He's got all them life savings going out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's cost him. I think Schultz and the way he markets himself and everything he does and his stand-up, I think it's fucking brilliant. And if he's done this, there's a reason for it. And he'll probably end up making more money selling it himself. He's got a literal army of fans. Like we've got our army of fans who have a word. You know, Flagrant and the Schultz following is much bigger than what we've got. And we're doing all right. I reckon he'll sell an awful lot of copies of this special.
I wonder why not YouTube. I wonder why not just for views. I think do you feel like he's got the army now already? Now he needs to actually pay back some of this, recoup some of this money.
I think it's a bit of both. I also think like he's got to a point in his career where, you know, these streaming platforms are offering him more than $1 million, whatever it is. And he's gone, if I put it out on YouTube, like there's hours of Schultz on YouTube already. He's got enough there for fans to go and find.
Yeah.
So this latest one, put it on behind a paywall. If there's anyone on the planet at the minute who can put a special up for $15 behind a paywall and have it get bought, it's probably Andrew. And, you know, if he's had to pay $2 million or $3 or whatever it is to get this back, then let him go and try and fucking
Louis C.K.'s been selling his specials for a long time off his mailing list. The exceptional comics can go beyond the just getting eyes on it. They're not just about building they're about paying for art. And I appreciate everyone that pays for our Patreon, because they're going, yeah, these guys work really hard. There's loads of stuff out there for free, and I don't mind paying for a little bit of content. And Schultz is so good that I think his fans will want to pay for it. They're never, when you do it this way, they're never a rip-off. Because you're cutting out so many middlemen.
Yeah.
Like Louis C.K.'s been selling his specials for sometimes $5, $10. It's just really good value. You're cutting out all the distribution, usually cutting out massive agencies as well. And all of a sudden it becomes really affordable and you're paying the person that you like directly, basically. Also, it's such a shame. And I hope this isn't, it's probably not where we're going because like you say with Chappelle and Gervais and all the trans stuff, that's not what Schultz was doing. Schultz fucks around with cultural stuff, race, jokes, talks to the crowd. His social media, Andrew Schultz's social media, where it's just like, obviously he's got his tour show, but he fucks around with the crowd and he can clip that out. It's been really helpful for me because like my tour show is my tour show. Like we're on preview 9 now. It's not far off what it'll be. I can't clip it out and show people. But if something happens in the crowd and you have a bit of interaction, you can clip that out. His audience interaction clips are as good as anyone on the internet. And if that's what they're trying to edit out, it's so grim because I'm starting to find the whole like trans stuff a bit dull now. Like I really feel like this has been discussed ad nauseum now. Like, all right, we get it.
They tried to make him cut his abortion joke. Have you seen it?
No.
So you can go and watch it. It's just a really funny way of looking at the Roe v. Wade abortion argument, which he goes, he does the classic thing of letting, he's setting a trap for people to fall into. He's like, women, it's your body, it's your choice. And, I'm just quite comfortable knowing when we get up to heaven and God's like, oh, were you all killing babies? And we're like, y'all. They made it very clear that was their decision.
It's a joke.
Like, and that it's not even that much of a, like, it's obviously a subject that affects people, but he's not really offending anyone.
It's an impossible hypothetical.
I don't know why that would ever need to come out. So if they're the type
in
of
heaven,
yeah, it's impossible hypothetical.
I don't know if they're the type of things they're trying to make them cut out. Then
it's better doing it.
I wonder if they're going to start being more stringent on specials. Then I wonder if it was Netflix and they're like, do you know what? We're sick of this shit.
No, I pray like that. That's
no,
not
but I'm saying
case.
You never know, do you? With the way the world's going with the internet laws now, what's going to change possibly?
We will see. But if that happens, if this media bill gets passed, if the Tories manage to stay in power and Nadine Dorries manages to stay in charge of digital and culture and whatever else she's fucking in charge of, and she passes through this media bill, which essentially gives the government the right to say, oh, that Jimmy Carr special had an offensive joke in it, take it down now. What will happen is comedy like what Schultz does and the sort of stuff I like to do in Chappelle and Bill Burr, whose new special at Red Rocks is fucking hilarious. It'll go underground and it might benefit from it, to be honest with you, in the long term. And it'll be an era of prohibition. I think it'd be.
I can't see it. I just can't. I think they're always going to be chasing their tails with the internet. I think they.
Yeah, that's what he means, though. They could ban it on the big ones and it goes underground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're never going to get rid of it, but they're going to push it.
They've already banned it off network television, and now network television is dying. I mean, it's not just that, is it? But
the argument with network television, though, is that like if you're flicking through the channels and you flick onto Channel 4 and Andrew Schultz's special is on and then that joke comes up and it's an abortion joke, you haven't really chosen to watch that.
Oh, mate, I'm 100%. That's...
But clicking on his face on a streaming network and going, I want to watch this special is...
If you go down the rabbit hole and you're like, oh, this rabbit hole's awful. Like, that is the whole internet. Yeah. Whether you're on a streaming service called Netflix or fucking Amazon Prime or... They're just different rabbit holes on the internet.
It's like being on Pornhub and going, that porn was horrible. Well, yeah, you watched it.
Yeah, but then there is,
I do that sometimes.
Yeah, but you wouldn't complain to Pornhub.
Really bad about myself.
Yeah. You know you've had a weird wank if you email Nadine Dorries afterwards. Like, oh, Nadine, it's gone weird, that.
Everyone's got the
Take it down. I don't even... What is a midget fucking koala bear? They're already small.